For years, Remy Ma and Papoose were hip-hop's royal couple, black love in its purest form. He held her down through a 6-year prison stretch like he was trying to earn sainthood. When she came home, they turned love and loyalty into a whole mixtape vibe. But now, that fairy tale is in flames, the roses dead, and the petals scattered all over Instagram Live. Because guess what? Papoose didn't just file for divorce. He came swinging with court docs, screenshots, and straight-up receipts. And this ain't your regular cheating story. He's claiming Remy stepped out with another woman in their house while their daughter was in the next room. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, boom. Papoose drops another bombshell. He says he wrote 90% of her bars. That's right. Ms. Bronx Battle Queen, allegedly ghostwritten by her own husband? If that's real, we're not just talking betrayal. We're talking her whole rap legacy crashing down. But Remy? Oh, she didn't stay quiet. She clapped back like a Bronx train at rush hour, full steam, hopped on IG Live and tore into him, saying he's a broke, messy control freak who's more into his image than his own daughter. She claimed he pawned her jewelry, hadn't touched her bed in 3 years, and that she's been ready to sign those divorce papers, but he's the one dragging it out. This ain't just a breakup. It's a lyrical war turned personal, and nobody's holding back. Now the whole world's watching the fall of what used to be hip-hop's most loyal love story. But this ain't just he said, she said. This is about how it all went up in flames. And, spoiler alert, it starts with a young, undefeated, and hella bold female boxer who aired it all out on the world's biggest radio show. If you're wondering what had Remy snapping out of mommy mode and hopping on IG Live with a head wrap and pure rage, look no further than The Breakfast Club. That's where Clarissa Shields, Olympic gold medalist and pro fighter, stepped in. And depending who you ask, maybe even Papoose's new flame. Clarissa rolled up to that studio calm, cool, and collected. Didn't even have to say Remy's name. The timeline did it for her. 'Cause when she dropped that bomb like, we fell asleep on the phone every night for 4 months, talked sun up to sundown. Yeah, that wasn't just tea. That was a boiling pot of proof. Let's back it up a bit. Clarissa says she and Papoose started talking early 2023. And nah, she didn't just know him as Remy's man. She knew him as a kind dude, respectful, who took her out in NYC, FaceTimed her nonstop, and even talked about building a family. She's 30. She said she's ready for kids, ready for something real. And while Pap wasn't technically divorced yet, he told her the marriage was already over. And Clarissa? She believed him. Why? 'Cause he showed up every day, told the same story, and kept it real with her. She made it crystal clear. I'm not married. I'm not the one that needs to fix that. Whew! And that's just the warm-up! Now here's the real gag. Clarissa wasn't acting like some low-key fling. Nah, sis pulled up like she's been in love. She didn't just slide into Papoose's life with a cute post and a couple soft-launch selfies. She claimed him loud and clear. Clarissa told the world she's been living her best life with Pap since August. And the way she said it? Calm, secure, no drama in her tone, just confidence. No shame, no fear, just big, I said what I said energy. And honestly, Papoose? He was matching that vibe too. That's what really set Remy off. Once Clarissa's interview hit, the streets started whispering, Remy fumbled a loyal king. Clarissa's an upgrade, and even Remy's just bitter and washed now. And trust, Remy heard every word. 'Cause just hours later, she hopped on Live with a fire-breathing monologue, dragging Pap for filth. She called him a liar, a manipulator, and claimed he let his new chick play dress-up in the house she paid for. She straight up said that whole black love image? That was his hustle, not hers. Who? But let's keep it real. Clarissa didn't even have to spill tea like that. Just her presence cracked the whole illusion. This wasn't just Remy Ma losing a man. This was Remy losing control of the narrative. And in hip-hop? That's worse than heartbreak. So Remy went Live too? And baby, she didn't just wash the dirty laundry. She threw the whole hamper at him. She started off calm, sounding like a woman who'd been holding it in, but you could feel the heat building underneath. Remy dropped the bomb. She and Papoose hadn't shared a bed since May 2022. She said she kept quiet out of respect for their daughter. But then, boom, that calm energy disappeared fast. She told folks, "Do your own homework." And just like that, it was gloves off. Remy came straight for Papoose's neck, saying he used their marriage to chase clout and refused to sign divorce papers because that black love image, that was the last thing he had going for him. She claimed she already lawyered up last year, had all the docs signed, but Papoose kept stalling. Why? Because, in her words, he didn't have the money for a lawyer. She said she didn't want a dime. No child support, no spousal support, no car, no jewelry, except the pieces he allegedly pawned. Yup. Remy said she had to file a police report after some of her insured jewelry went missing. Cartier, y'all! And when people clowned her for calling the cops, she clapped back like, "What would you do if someone ran off with your Cartier and you had receipts?" And oh, she definitely came for Clarissa too, without naming her. Called her a downgrade, implied she was homeless before Pap picked her up, and accused Papoose of letting her new girl run wild online without checking her. Remy made it real clear. Pap was out here trying to flip the script, painting her as some bitter ex, when in reality, sis been done. She even said she offered to pay for his lawyer just to get the divorce over with. That's how ready she was to close this messy chapter. The part that hit the hardest? Remy opened up about holding it down for his other kids, even when Pap wasn't sure if they were biologically his. She was paying bills from behind bars, sending gifts, and making sure everyone was good, all while raising their daughter on her own. It was bitter, it was sad, it was raw, and it was obvious. Remy wasn't just popping off. She was grieving the death of an image she helped create. That black love fantasy they sold to the world, it became a trap. And just when things looked like they were calming down, Pap came back swinging, with nuclear energy. He hopped on Instagram Live, face tight, voice calm, but the heat was real. First thing he said? "She mentioned my daughter, so now I'm talking." And talk he did. Pap claimed Remy hadn't let him see their child in months, said she was using their daughter as a pawn, pretending he was a deadbeat when really he'd been shut out. Then he dropped the bomb. He said he caught Remy in bed with another woman while their daughter was home. And not just some random. He said it was a former inmate friend, someone who had stayed in their house multiple times. One night, he walked in, saw the two of them in bed, the woman ran off, and Remy tried to play it off like he misunderstood the situation. But according to Pap, this wasn't even about Remy being into women. He said, "I don't judge. Just don't lie. Don't bash people for how they live. Then go hide your own truth." And just when you thought he was done, he aimed straight for the crown. Things just got personal on a whole different level. Yeah, you heard that right. Pap claimed he wrote 90% of Remy's bars, from the punchlines to the flows. He said he never asked for credit because that was his wife, and he wanted her to shine. But now that she's out here clowning his pockets, he's snatching the pen back. He pulled out draft emails of lyrics, said he crafted her whole comeback storyline after prison, even claimed he gave up a chunk of his own love and hip-hop check just to boost her brand. And he wasn't even close to done. He accused her of cheating with Easy the Block Captain, said they lied about cutting it off in therapy, only for her to run right back to him. And here's the kicker. Remy later confirmed that part was true. According to Pap, Remy was living a full-blown double life, staying out all night, ghosting him, and secretly locking down an apartment 40 minutes away where she'd do whatever she wanted, with whoever she wanted. But Pap said he stayed, for their daughter's sake. He claimed he only filed for divorce now because she pushed him past the edge. And then came the darkest cut. He said Remy didn't just fall out of love with him. She was done with men altogether. But in Pap's eyes, the real betrayal If she truly cared about their daughter, she wouldn't have brought a secret relationship into their shared home, and not while their little girl was under the same roof, sometimes even in the next room. To him, that wasn't just cheating. That was crossing a line. He didn't just call it betrayal, he called it straight-up emotional neglect. This right here is where the fans are split down the middle. Is Papoose speaking his truth? Or is he using heavy words like bipolar and gay to tear Remy down out of spite? Was this heartbreak? Or just pure vengeance? One thing's clear, this ain't about love anymore. This is straight-up war, and both sides are lobbing grenades. After all the yelling, crying, dragging, ghostwriting claims, and dirty laundry flying through IG Live, someone finally did the paperwork. Yup, Pap officially filed for divorce. But how did the world find out? Not through lawyers, not even through TMZ. Nope, it was Instagram stories. Because of course, hip-hop's most emotional breakup had to drop like a brunch RSVP. Pap posted a screenshot of the $325 court receipt from the New Jersey Superior Court, with the pettiest caption. If it was that easy, why hasn't she done it? Pump faking. Then he laid out his reasoning, said he hadn't filed earlier out of respect for their daughter, claimed he wanted her to see two grown adults handling their business peacefully and privately. That was his intent anyway. But just when you thought he was gonna leave it at that, Pap snuck in one more bombshell. He said, "You just called me yesterday trying to get back with me, and I said no." Now that lit the timeline up. 'Cause if true, it flips the whole story again. But with all these receipts flying and stories clashing, one thing's for sure. We don't know who's lying, but somebody's definitely capping. So now, Remy's claim about having already filed last year and just needing his signature was getting called all the way out. And the streets were buzzing, because if Pap just submitted his divorce paperwork, how could hers have already been sitting in the system? Did she lie? Did her lawyer drop the ball? Or was Pap just outplaying her in the public eye? Fans started picking sides fast. Team Pap said he was just trying to protect his daughter's privacy until Remy dragged his name. And then he snapped. Team Remy said Pap only filed because she saw him all booed up with Clarissa Shields, and that stung enough to push her into defense mode. And Clarissa? She didn't hold back either. The minute Pap's filing hit, she jumped online, telling Remy to sign those papers. Loud and messy. But even with the ink still wet, neither side was backing down. Remy came back swinging with new receipts, text messages showing Pap hitting her up from Africa, chatting about the weather, sending videos of their daughter, acting like everything was still cool. She posted all of it to her Instagram stories and aimed straight at Clarissa. Her message? If you just turned 30 and allegedly met this man 8 months ago, who I've known since you were 10, who's 47, has 4 kids, and is promising you a baby while finally agreeing to a divorce, then please, respectfully, stay out my business. Yeah, Remy made it very clear. She's not handing over her crown without a fight. While all this drama exploded online, Papoose was on live making wild claims, talking about Remy having lesbian threesomes in front of their daughter and accusing her of slandering him with ghostwriting lies. Let's be real. This ain't a divorce. This is scorched earth and stuck in the middle. A 6-year-old little girl who ain't asked for none of this. Just think about what that child must be feeling right now. But here's the truth. Remy and Pap were never just a couple. They were a brand. The Black Love blueprint. The ride-or-die fairy tale that had fans believing love could survive anything. Every red carpet, every interview, Pap was there, dapping her up like a proud manager and grinning like a man who never let go. He wrote her in prison, visited her, got her a skeleton key tattoo, helped raise her son, even stayed faithful, allegedly, for 6 whole years while she was locked up. To a whole generation that had never seen love that loyal, they looked like a miracle. But now, that miracle is breaking apart, live, messy, and raw. Cheating, lies, therapy sessions, and trauma are all being paraded for the internet to dissect. And the worst part? They're not walking away quietly. They're weaponizing their history. Every shared moment is now ammo. Pap claims he wrote her lyrics, says she's been hiding her truth about her sexuality, says she's keeping him from their daughter. Meanwhile, Remy says Pap was too broke to even file for divorce, until she offered to foot the bill. This ain't just a breakup. This is a war where love got lost, and legacy's getting shredded in real time. It's like watching a love song unravel in reverse, each bar darker than the last. All that black love branding, toss it. Whether they ever truly loved each other or not, what's clear is they sold that love. On TV, on red carpets, in interviews, they turned their story into a product. And now, that packaging is busted, the illusion shattered, and the public's demanding a refund. Now we got Remy saying she did everything on her own, Pap saying she owes him everything. And caught in the crossfire? A little girl watching her parents rip each other apart in front of the whole internet, with timestamps. So what happens when a relationship gets so twisted that love becomes content? When dragging each other is just another upload? When the lies stop being secrets and start being marketing? Now I gotta ask y'all, do you really believe Remy cheated with a woman while their daughter was in the house? Or is Pap spinning the whole thing just to break her down in public? And if he did ghostwrite her hardest bars, should he have stayed quiet out of love? Or was it fair for him to finally air it all out? And the big question, was black love between them ever real? Or was it just a brand from the jump? Let me know what side you're on. Team Remy? Team Pap? Or team that poor baby girl? If you made it this far, you already know. Hit that like button, subscribe for more celebrity drama deep dives, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.